There's two pieces to the pie when it comes to renewable fuels. The biodiesel is just as important to the Iowa economy.
Hello, and welcome to this edition of the State of Soy. I'm Michaela Jordan, reporting from the Iowa Capitol, where we're gathered here today for the Iowa Biodiesel Board's Day on the Hill. I'm joined today by House Representative Norlin Mommsen from Clinton County, who also serves as a farmer. Norlin, talk about why you are a supporter of biodiesel.
I raise soybeans, and at the end of the day, it raises the price that I get at the market. So what I've been told and also believe it's better for my engines due to a little more lubrication with the drier fuels we have now, and better for the environment. They've taken all the sulfur out of diesel fuel to make it cleaner, and I believe the biodiesel, part of the fuel now, adds some lubrication back. So I think it's better for the engines, as well as the emissions are less through those vehicles that are running biodiesel.
Speaking of the market aspect of it, biodiesel accounts for 13% of the price that farmers get per bushel of soybeans. What benefit does biodiesel have for Iowa's economy?
Well, I mean, it's a direct influence, especially with agriculture having such a big influence on the total economy. The more I get from my soybeans, the more I have to spend at the end of the day, and then I put it back in the economy. The more I earn, the more I spend. It's simple.
Through today's Iowa Biodiesel Day on the Hill, they are discussing with legislators and representatives what's going on in the biodiesel sector of the world and how it's impacting Iowa's economy. As a representative, what work have you done with biofuels related policy? I'm
chair of the Ag and Natural Resources Sub-Appropriations Committee on the House side. So sometimes we deal with the Renewable Fuels Fund, which puts money towards renewable fuels, and that includes ethanol and biodiesel. So basically trying to get more funding through that to help promote those industries.
What are some of the frustrations that have come through working with those different processes and those different policies?
Well, when people think of renewable fuels, they think ethanol. And nobody seems to include biodiesel into that equation, and that's somewhat reflected in our funding. Ethanol keeps getting a bigger piece of the pie, and it seems like the biodiesel portion is stagnant. And a lot of that is people, they don't quite understand the importance of both. You know, there's two pieces to the pie when it comes to renewable fuels, and that the biodiesel is just as important to the Iowa economy. Looking to the future, what action is being taken here at the Capitol to help mitigate some of those problems within the biodiesel sector? Well, basically promote more funding so that there is the infrastructure out there at our retailers so people have access to it. You can't use it if you can't find it. And that's the first piece of the pie, to make sure it's available for the public out there, whether it's in agriculture or, let's say, our over-the-road truckers. I think the country as a whole sees biodiesel or ethanol or cleaner fuels as the future, so I see that going forward. It just depends on what support we get from either the state side or the federal side. What advice would you give to farmers when it comes to getting their voices out there around this topic? Is there other action that farmers can take? Well, they need to use it. I mean, if they have the opportunity to use it, then that helps the retailer say, look at the percentage or how much I'm moving. Usage out there is probably one of the best promoters of getting more out there, or getting other outlets to utilize it or sell it. Thank you, Representative Mommsen, for joining us today and being such an advocate for biodiesel and for Iowa's farmers. If you are interested in promoting biodiesel and ensuring that legislation matches up with what's needed on your farm, be sure to reach out to your representatives and your Senate leaders to make sure your voice and the agriculture voice is heard. Reporting for this edition of the State of Soy, I'm Michaela Jordan.
The reason I chose to go with FMH was I feel I've always been taken care of. I trust the people. They all seem to be tied to ag, and they care too. And I also appreciate their American company.
As a farmer, I appreciate they're family owned, that it's here in the United States, that they're owned in the United States, and they're working for us.
All good people.
We've been with them for 10 years probably now. They're a great company, and I will stay with them forever.